Yes, everybody. Can you believe it? It's my second video in the same day. Oh, goodness me. It is Content City here at One Leeds FC. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. I hope you're all happy and good tidings. Good tidings. You can't really go on about good tidings. It's past Christmas. Good tidings that it's Friday. You're getting a drink or you're doing whatever. You're just chilling out with family. I hope you're all doing well. I'm here to react to Bielsa's press conference, which I did not expect would have as many caveats in there, would have as many sort of news breakers and this, that, and the other. But it didn't disappoint again. It didn't disappoint. So everybody get your comments in. I want to know what you think on Marcelo Bielsa's press conference. If you don't know what's gone on, I am here to give you some info on exactly what's going on and how on earth this is going to affect the West Ham game on Sunday. So make sure you're getting your comments in, guys. We've got Jack Glennie in the building. We've got Bradley. Day has come out and said, play the kids, concentrate on the league. I would completely agree with that, mate. Just cracked a Guinness, mate. Love that, Trotsky. Good man. Philip's back in the building. Wow, loving it, bro. Always great content. Cheers, mate. I might dispute that, but that's just me being hypercritical. See, I'm as critical as I am with the Leeds players as I am with myself, mate. Honestly, it's true. Play Max Dean says, Gary, yeah, not a bad shout at all. Gelhart news was a bummer. I would start Greenwood and bring Paddy on for fitness minutes or vice versa. Let's get into it then, shall we, guys? I'm going to read an edit that I did today on the press conference and just read out the segments of it, really. So what did we find out from Bielsa's presser today? Bamford is likely to play on Sunday. Don't do it, Marcelo. No, listen, it's something I would probably, I was going to say advise against, but, I'm not in any sort of advisory role. But, yeah, it's something I would not want to do with Bamford now looking like he is pretty much the only fully fit striker aside from Greenwood in the squad. So, yeah, that's something I would look against, really. And suddenly we've gone from having option upon option. I mean, you look at Tyler Roberts, he can obviously play up front. He did play in the 9, didn't he, last weekend? Joe Gelhart, who we're going to get onto in a bit, sort of suffering as well. And now the options up front are a little bit lapsed. So it's going to be fascinating to see what happens. But on Sunday, I would not be risking Patrick Bamford. I mean, look, for the mystique, the whatever you want to call it, the lovingness English fans have with the FA Cup, the aura of the FA Cup, I should say, altogether. I guess we can play him. If you're being brutally honest and transparent, what's the point? What is the point? I don't see we've got them again in a week's time where there's potential that we could pick up some points and get out of this just horrendous position that we're in. What is the point in starting Patrick Bamford? What is the point in Patrick Bamford featuring heavily when he's just come back from injury? Putting him in a game that is, in my eyes, guys, everybody might disagree. I do have a lovingness with the cup competitions. In years to come, I want Leeds to compete in the cup competitions. But I said in my video this morning that 3 years in the Premier League is all about consolidation. And the 4th, 5th, 6th year, you can go on and do whatever you want. But these 3 years are all about consolidation. I'll be saying the same thing next year. I'll still get people saying to me on my stream and stuff, Connor, you're negative. We should be going for Europa League and Champions League. For me, these 3 years are about consolidation in the Premier League and making Leeds United a solid Premier League outfit. So for me, Patrick Bamford plays in the league games. He features in the league games. God forbid. And this is why the small squad will always struggle if we did get to 8th, 9th in the league and then look to push to Europe. This is where this will always struggle, because there are always going to be bodies out because of the extensiveness of cup competitions and international competitions, which are coming more and more into play. So with regards to Patrick Bamford, for me, you can bring him on for 10 minutes, but you don't start him. Not in this game. Not for me. If you put Greenwood on there or even Dan James up front, that's fine by me. But not Patrick Bamford. Leave him for the West Ham game. And more importantly, make sure he's available, fit and ready for that Newcastle game. Get your comments in, guys. Yeah, we're going to be touching on a lot of what you guys are saying. Day says agrees totally. Scott Lightning's come in. Drame for Ailing, Bait for Forshaw, Somerville for Rafinha. So really, really good comment there. Phil's come in and said Somerville, get him on that pitch. There's options there. There's options there where we can look at it and we can think, look, if we stick these lads out, we can see what they're all about. Everybody's been banging on about Jack Jenkins in terms of, getting him on the field. He's been part of the substitutes bench as well. Stick him in there. I wouldn't be adverse to that. What I just don't want Bielsa to do is go on that flip reverse where he sort of wasn't bothered about cup competitions and never played the strongest team and now to go in, which he has this year and played quite strong teams. I don't want him to do that against West Ham United. I really don't, because Leeds are picking up injuries all the time. We're going to get onto it. Gary Bedford thinks Bamford should get Mins. JJ's come in and said, don't risk Bamford. Spiritual meditation. Nice trim, mate. Yeah, I had to get it done, mate. It was getting a bit too long. Let's get more likes for Connor. Everyone keeps, cheers, guys. 169 of you here. I'll be going on, so don't worry. F the cup, says Crixus. Let's focus on the league. Give Melee a break too. Jack, I don't want to say this disparagingly. I hope he improves. But for when, you've been watching the 23s, which I do, I make sure I do regularly, very, very regularly. If you'd have watched the Sunderland game in midweek, Klaassen is nowhere near it. He's nowhere near it. And when we're talking about development, no problem. Absolutely no problem. But, for this game in particular, this, I guess, would be one where you can throw him in because, he is, you don't want to start Melee. Melee, once again, could pick up an injury. We don't know. So it seems to be falling like flies at the minute. But Klaassen is just, there's so many mistakes in his game at the minute. I'd be worried putting him in a game against a top team like West Ham. I really would. So I don't know if I would replace Melee for this one. I don't know if we can. And that's why I said at the start of the season, with regards to a goalkeeper, it's so important that we sort of get a first team ahead in who's experienced. So Robert Humphrey has also said he'll play a strongest team. Yeah, I agree. So what else have we learned? So we knew about Phillips and Cooper, and they're going to be out till March. Injury updates on Jamie Shackleton and Charlie Cresswell. They will be ready after the international break. So yeah, that's a little bit of a time update with regards to the international break. So I don't know. I guess the options are sort of dwindling for Leeds United in terms of options there. It's not great, is it? If someone in the comment section can tell me when the next international break is, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But Bielsa has come out and obviously said that, and he's come out and said as well that Rodrigo and Strauch we can't predict. I'm trying to put a positive spin on this because we're going to get onto the positives right at the end. But with Strauch and Rodrigo, not being able to predict when they're back is really worrying. It's a really worrying prospect. I'll be honest with you guys, with Rodrigo at the minute, system-wise, I'm not too bothered because I don't think he's influencing that massively. But I do look at Pascal Strauch and I do miss him massively from this lineup. And he's another option. Rodrigo is definitely another option. He would be a bench option for me, but he definitely is an option nonetheless. So Strauch and Rodrigo is slightly worrying. So yeah, you can't get away from that, unfortunately. Rick P has said February, so that's in terms of the international break. So we're looking at Cresswell and Jamie Shackleton being back after that point. So they are long-term injuries. Phillips Cooper, Rodrigo, Strauch, Shackleton, and Cresswell, 6 there. It looks like they are sort of long-term injuries. Ollie's come in and said Forshaw needs a rest at the weekend. Yeah, I think that's where someone like Lewis Bate would come in. And Jake's also come in and confirmed that with Bate needs 90 minutes for sure. Day, 30th of January. So you would expect those two to be back after into February. Tyler Roberts was an interesting one from the press conference. We spoke about it on the debrief, actually, and me and KG have spoken about it off air as well. Roberts, we thought with the mentally was battered in that Burnley game. You know, it was 1-1. He'd missed a host of chances. He wasn't having a good game. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'll be transparent. I said it to my dad downstairs. Is he just lacking in a little bit of confidence? Has he just decided that he doesn't fancy it anymore? And he wants to be subbed. You know, we didn't see what happened. It looked very innocuous. You know, I'm not going out there and accusing Tyler Roberts. You know, I'll be honest with you guys. When I played football, I've done it myself when it's been a bad day. I've gone down. I've just not fancied it. I've thought to myself, nah. And he wasn't having a good game. And I believe Tyler Roberts is a lovely lad. But I just think on that day, maybe he maybe thought to himself, someone could come on and do a better job than me. I could be wrong, but that's what I initially thought at the time. Me and KJ had a discussion about it. But on the contrary to that, we have found out that Tyler Roberts is actually out for a month. So I was completely wrong. Completely wrong. Looks like he suffered a pretty sort of big injury there. I don't know whether or not that means he's going to be fully fit in a month, or whether or not that means he's going to be fully fit in 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks. We'll have to wait and see. But in the system, I do think Tyler Roberts has been good. I think he's been very good. You know, up front, he's never a striker. He calls himself a striker. He ain't a striker. He can't finish. But in that central midfield capacity, I think he's been really, really good. Played in that 10 recently. I think he's been good. I think, you know, you've got to be real about these things. He's definitely been improving. So yeah, I mean, I do think that will be a miss as well, Tyler Roberts, you know, with those combinations in and around that central midfield capacity. So the big one alongside Tyler Roberts is Joe Gelhart, and we didn't expect this. We didn't know this. The magic man, the man who's been coming on and changing everything in 300 odd minutes. He's got what, 2 penalties, a goal and an assist. I think under 20 years of age, his productivity is the most in Europe at the minute for his age. And you're looking at the minute, you heard the roar when he came on at the weekend for Tyler Roberts and made a difference, didn't he? He got an assist for Dan James's goal. Didn't think it was his best game, but he still got an assist, so who cares? Sort of the flagship at the minute. I'm looking at Joe Gelhart and I'm thinking he's almost taking over the Rafinha role in a weird sort of way. That person who brings that excitement and the Leeds fans get off the seats for, and they see him and they think, oh my God, Joffy's coming on. Here we go. But we found out apparently this week in training, it always seems to happen in bloody training, bloody Burnley, bloody training. Joe Gelhart has injured his ankle and will be out for 3 weeks minimum. Apparently, Bielsa has turned around and said approximately it will be a month, which is just, it's as Willie says, like button, guys. Make sure you're doing it. 280 of you in here now. But that is absolutely, it's a massive blow, because Leeds will have Newcastle in that time. You would expect it might just be on the verge. But having Newcastle at that point, where we've seen it in Leeds' DNA before, even when Bamford's been playing, that when it's not been working, we need something different. We need something off the bench, which hasn't been there. We've not been able to find it, but we have found it this season in Joe Gelhart, that lad who comes off the bench. The last time I really saw it was Jack Clark, where he'd come off the bench and he'd give everybody a get up. He'd make a difference. But Gelhart's on another level, a top player. But I just think that, you know, we've actually found that player who can come off the bench when the game is not going Leeds' way at all and can make the difference. Will run at defenders. He's definitely someone who Newcastle will hate playing against as well. I'm looking longer now, because I think that's that game which we you know, in my opinion, we still have to win. But short term, West Ham, I think he makes the difference as well. We saw that last time he played against West Ham when he came on. But yeah, it's a massive blow. It's a hammer blow. Colin in again here. Happy with Bamford back. Would have liked Joffy for the West Ham FA Cup match. Thanks for your donation, but it really helps. Yeah, so that's a big one. That is a real big one. And there's a lot of people already talking about January contingency plans. Listen, guys, in my head, the January contingency plans never changed. They never changed after a 3-1 win at Burnley. They never changed after we were lapping up Joffy. They never changed after we were lapping up Click and Forshaw in the midfield. My transfer targets are still the exact same, because it's papering over the cracks. Not in a negative way. Not in a negative way at all, because it was a great win at the weekend, some great individual performances. But I'm talking about long term. I'm talking about Leeds having plans in motion when players get injury upon injury upon injury. There have to be players there to fill in the gaps, who can be there for long-term plans as well, of course. So, Yeah, my January targets are still the same. Watch my video I did a while back. It's still the exact same. Leeds, for me, still need to do business. They have to do business. Gelhart is out. But positively, really positively, Patrick Bamford is back. Do. No one's here. But yeah, Patrick Bamford is back, which is big news for Leeds. We've missed the focal point, 17 goals last season. Can't be mistaken. I think everybody's on a bit of a lull at the minute because of Joe Gelhart, because of just that excitement he brings. But listen, when Bamford was coming off the bench against Brentford, that excitement was, it was still there. He came on, grabbed himself a goal. Him being back's absolutely massive. But for me, you can't risk him. You can't risk him this weekend. You can come on, but I just think, you just go with Dan James up front, whatever. Go with Jack Harrison in the false nine. I don't mind. But I think putting Bamford up there this week with, Gelhart out for 4 weeks, Roberts out for a big period of time as well. Us doing that is just a big, big risk with Bamford's first game back, especially when you saw what happened last time with Paddy's first game back. We need to manage him well. We need to really, really do this one properly. And I think for me, Bamford would be someone who came on. So that is the injury news, guys. Bielsa came out and also said that apparently they're, if a better player comes available, they will make a transfer deal in, which is sort of what we know anyway. It's sort of what we know, isn't it? So, yeah, guys, that's going to be your lot for this evening. If you want to check out the Room Mill, that's been out for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will be back with a review at some point this weekend, or I will be back with it on Monday alongside the debrief as well. So I hope you've enjoyed it, guys. Bamford's back, everybody. Keep smiling, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.